Recording of this
So they can hear us.
today. We're using Hope Sociology to help yourself and others. That's right. Wave to the camera. You're all on camera. No, you're not. You're not actually.
Hi, Tavia.
So what am I seeing right there? That's right. That's what we're doing there. But first, I am asking if there's any questions on the lab assignment. Apparently not for these fine folks. Oh, Montel, he's not here. But Brenna is here. They did it. I could show you the spreadsheet right now if I was hooked up to this computer. I'm not. It wouldn't be hard. I could show you that. But they've entered their data. And there's something that I ought to show you. Emma, I was going to put your name in bold, Emma, because you did something that others weren't able to do or didn't do. I can do this, right? I can pop over here, and there I am. I can go to the drive, right?
I like the nice cursive S.
I don't know what that means there. I guess that's
You just
we
erase
gotta
it.
erase that.
Ooh, got it.
Like those guys, okay. Stay tuned, screencasters. We're showing the spreadsheet. There it is. There I am. I have not finished, right? I grabbed Omar Lizardo, who's an awesome network analyst up at Notre Dame, by the way. He does a lot of tweeting. And I got to do 2 more tweets for him. And Melanie Mitchell, that's the only woman that I have, by the way. And I was about to snap up another guy before I realized, hey, I've only got men here. I should try and change that up a little bit. I should try and diversify my network a little bit. Well, I want a diverse data set is what I want. I want all of us to think that way. But it is interesting, isn't it, that we might have to do that, shake ourselves out of our networks that become pretty homogeneous. So I went purposely and found this guy, or whoever that is, Conservative Oklahoma, because most of my people were liberal. There's Kyle. They're waiting for Kyle. There's Betsa, right, etc. There's Maddie. There's John. They're waiting for their data to be entered. There's KJ. There's Matt, Emmeline, Harrison, Amber, Serena, Edvard, Emma. Look at Emma. Yes, she's in there. I said, to try and get at least, 20 likes, and Emma did that. That was good. I wasn't able to do that for all of mine. I guess for 1 or 2 might have been below that, 15 likes or something. What I'm struck by is Emma was able to get political orientation that was diverse. That's good. It wasn't being diverse by tweet, but that's okay. I'm expecting you to evaluate each individual tweet. Right, for their political orientation, not the person, not the tweeter. And whereas Montel and Brenna, they didn't get any sort of very conservatives. Montel got some conservative, more tweet variability. Brenna was more like what I would have been had I not pushed myself, and was more 4, 5s, and 3s on that. But that's okay. You just leave it that. Other people will hopefully, add diversity to our sample that way. Right, and so hopefully you're getting, in those Twitter accounts, you're getting race diversity there. I asked that 2 be non-white. In this case, it was one who's don't know. That's okay, but it's a little better if you can get more. But that's good. Montel has more. I think Emma had more too. Anyway, so there we are. So we're cruising along. Thank you, everybody. And close that down so we don't watch
David.
Oh, really?
Okay. Oh yeah, and then one person was there too, Alfred J. Thomas IV, because I entered AJ.
I changed it.
You changed it. Okay, good. I was worried that maybe somebody else changed it and they were sort of making fun of you or something.
No.
Okay, Jay.
Not even
Good.
funnier, actually. I think we enjoyed that more.
Yeah. So let's talk about cosmetic surgery here and its prevalence. We looked at some of that before, but what we're getting at here is how culture affects the use of an institution. Culture can reflect technology and medical practices. You know, whether or not a culture uses speed, for example. As I told you guys last time, I did when I was y'all's age. You know, studying for a final or writing a paper or something. Are there cultures where you'd be less likely to do that? Are you less likely to, has our culture changed enough so that I hope you guys won't make those sort of same mistakes that my generation made? I don't know if any college students OD'd on speed during my era, but I'll bet they did. I mean, I'll bet there's some, and I wonder if that's gone up or down since your era.
I think we got stronger, so we can just take it better.
Well, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, so what, yeah, see, I'm looking at two different things here. So here we are, cosmetic surgery's prevalence. So what sort of explains it? What are some values that might encourage it in our culture or South Korea's culture? Another high user. Brazil's culture, pretty high user. Controlling for class, because they have a lot of poor people who can't afford it, of course, but the middle class, upper middle class use it a lot. Values that cause one country to use it more than another country, perhaps, or one period in time more than another period in time. Are there institutions that encourage it? The way our economy is set up, for example, does that encourage it? And in general, in what societies do you think it might be more common? Are you surprised that it's... if I were to show you a ranking of relative prevalence of societies, that's probably what I should do and get you to think about why it's higher or lower in the U.S. versus other countries. But if I were to say, I've seen enough of those comparisons that I can say the U.S. is higher in its rate than controlling for class. It's higher in its rate than India, than Eastern European countries like Russia and Ukraine. I'm pretty sure those countries have lower rates of cosmetic surgery. India, Russia.
Sounds surprising though. Like, I don't look at like India and think cosmetic surgery. Like, cause aren't Indians? Unless I'm thinking of something totally different, aren't Indians just? I don't want to say like conservative, but like just. Well, I guess
Traditional?
I would say traditional.
In terms of their Hindu culture, caste, things
I
like
remember
that.
seeing something like it's like severely shunned to do anything. I don't even know how to articulate what I'm trying to say.
With your physicality or something like that.
Yeah. No.
Slumdog Millionaire says it. There was
The beggars. Have you seen the
yes, the beggars, right? What about the beggars in Slumdog Millionaire?
Because they take their eyes out and stuff, so they'll make more money.
Oh yeah, they purposely disfigure themselves.
Well, I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking like anything seems like maybe like sexual. I don't know how to find what I was talking
Well,
about.
I don't know. Some of that is our perspective on another culture.
No, this was
that
like
they might
this
seem
like
that way.
thing like on India.
Uh-huh.
He was talking about that. but I
Well,
can't remember.
India is more collectivist than the United States versus being individualist and individualistic. Most of the world actually tends to be more collectivistic than the United States. The United States is number one in individualism, but there's other countries that are up there with us. Western Europe, Australia are up there with individualism. Might you expect more cosmetic surgery in individualist sort of countries? You're crafting yourself, sort of. Yeah, that's some of the research that goes into it, where sociologists have researched cosmetic surgery patrons, right? People that use it, and people that don't use it, and they've compared their answers. That's one of the things that comes up. Another thing that comes up is the institutional frameworks that allow doctors to craft those made-to-order sort of services. As opposed to in Russia, for example, or in Cuba or China, who is directing the doctors to craft their practices? The government is, in the interests of the society, not per order for the individual. If you can afford it, you should be able to buy it. No, not necessarily, they say in those societies. It's better if we put our resources for more healthcare for more people, they'll say. So, those are some things that I'd sort of have us consider, just sort of as we get going here. So, I've got these notes I've boiled down into this sort of three-pronged categorization scheme. That there's increasingly technology in general, and this goes with cell phones, how we use our cell phones, how we use the internet. Should you be allowed to check your cell phone during class, for example? There might be cultural differences or structural differences that explain that. But increasingly, the view around the world, at least, but that's because it's dominated by our culture. But in our culture, the view is technology can be used for money. You can pay whatever you want to use it. If you've got the money, you can pay whatever you want for yourself. If it, as long as you don't hurt anybody else, that sort of pluralistic, libertarian ideology that sort of underlies a lot of American culture. As long as you don't hurt anybody else, you can use it for however you want. And for justice, right? For social justice, for fairness. So we were empathetic for people that used, at least we said so in the last class, we could see people using cosmetic surgery because they're being discriminated against, right? If they're disfigured, or if they're just so unattractive that they get discriminated against. Though, I'm here to tell you, I can't imagine that. I can imagine disfigurement, but I can't imagine lookism and being discriminated against, or sort of pro-discrimination for attractive people. That's been demonstrated in research. And that there's a global culture that has an effect that glosses over differences and creates a sort of universal standard, and that standard is racialized. And then there's a postmodern awareness in postmodern culture. Modernism is, and we might have time to go over this sort of distinction, but a lot of you know the difference between modernism and postmodernism. Anybody, when you think of the difference between postmodernism and modernism, does anything come to mind? I'm sort of curious when you think of it. Maybe you haven't run across it that much. Modernism is like modern architecture. It's like blocky buildings, glossy stuff. This is a modern piece. It's just got straight edges. There's no little decorations to it. That would be more Rococo, for example, that style. Or if you're combining different styles, it would be postmodern. It's a pastiche of different, or bricolage of different styles. And it can be improvised. So that's the sort of postmodern jazz to it. And you can improvise yourself in your life. There is no one size that fits all. So technologies are used for, can be used for these things. For yourself, for money, for justice. So the first one would just be the pursuit of happiness. If it makes you happy, you can do it. The second one would be for social justice. If it's helping a problem that you have that isn't fair, such as acting against discrimination. And it's a capitalist society that we live in, and so much of the world is in now, that we would say you can do it. You can craft your practice like that. If you're a surgeon, you can craft a practice around total superficial appearance. If what? If you were a doctor, why would you do it? Or maybe why you would not do it. Craft your practice like that. Considering it's a private practice and it's money you're investing. If you can make money on it, right? So if it's profitable, then you do whatever you want, right? If it's profitable, you can do whatever you want. Now, are there any critiques of these things? Should we question this for a second? This is what our culture basically is telling us. Any problems with that? What about the pursuit of happiness thing? Would you say to your sister, you know, if she's going to get cosmetic surgery, would you say, well, if it makes you happy? Or are there ways in which you might object? It might not make them happy in the long run. I would be worried about that. I would be worried. You think it's going to make you happy now, but I'm not sure in the long run if it would make you happy, right? You can get addicted to this kind of thing. For profit, we might think, well, like these governments have said, well, that's not the best use of the talent that we're developing in medicine and doctors. We need that talent elsewhere. Just because you can make money on it doesn't mean we need it as a society. So I would think about that. And technologies are encouraged to be used in a certain way by an increasingly homogeneous global culture. That's the global gloss. So what are some components of that global gloss? What does it look like, that global culture? Who does it represent? Yeah, it represents us. And by and large, we tend to look like, at least how we portrayed ourselves, white, by and large. The more diverse that picture gets of this is the dominant culture, but it's racially diverse, you would expect the less sort of whitening of people through cosmetic surgery we would see. So it's based on European, American, Western standards.
I mean, it's kind of changing now because like people are getting like collagen and stuff in the lips and stuff.
And that's less white, you think? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I saw an article on that today.
Well, it's interesting. I wonder. I wonder if we're going to start, if the ideal is going to be more mixed sort of Latino, black, white sort of mix. You know, that's our future face, you know, in the future as we increasingly mix. Yeah, so it could change and would be likely to change if we allow it to. Whoops, I did the wrong thing there. So they become individualistic, right? But that also includes democratic and capitalistic values. So you can do what you want, but you'll be, you know, there's freedom of speech and open markets. So our institutions are spreading as the look sort of spreads at the same time. But differences still matter on the ground. This is interesting. I don't know if I've shared this with you guys, but about how much we are affected by our experience. So we all have differences in our faces by symmetry, right? None of us have perfectly symmetrical faces, right? Y'all probably know that, right? So if one face, let me draw here.
I think it's clicking. Click the little green thing in the bottom. So you see it over there? No. Click on your left. Oh, it went away. There it is.
Okay.
Try that. Maybe that'll do it.
just let me explain. I'm not even going to go over there. If you've got a look in your face so that you present one face to one person, your right eyebrow is a little bit higher. But when you look in the mirror, your face is the other way. Your left eyebrow is a little bit higher when you look in the mirror. That's the face you see all the time, right? In the mirror. The face that, if you present two different versions of your face, the face that your friends will like to see is the one that they are used to seeing, right? The regular image. The one that you will prefer, regardless of culture, this is a cross-cultural phenomenon, this is a natural part of us, the way we process information, is the one that you see in the mirror. It's easier for you to process in terms of information. So we're affected by what we see in our environment. And as we develop familiarity with certain kinds of faces, we like those faces more. It's a familiarity effect. And so that depends on what your environment looks like around you. You're not going to completely like white faces if you're living in a world of other kinds of faces. But it will contribute to it. So local factors work against complete homogeneity there. All right, and it's also postmodern. That culture is global and homogeneous, but it's also postmodern. And that means, I hit it one too many times. It's locally rational. There is one of the big differences in postmodernism from modernism is that there's no one answer that works all the time for everyone. There's no one society that will work well for everyone all the time. There's no utopia that's going to happen and it's going to look the same thing for everyone. The fall of the Soviet Union, our inability to solve poverty, our inability to do away with drug addiction, our inability to find a template that works well in every sort of artistic piece or whatever you like, is part of what underlies this birth of postmodernism. In the 50s and the 40s, they thought we were going to get everything settled and we were all going to have one rational plan for society. Utopia was in our future. If it wasn't sort of Marxist communism, it was going to be something else. But now we're realizing things are only locally rational. They're not universal. And therefore, you develop a sense that if it works for you, it's okay. You get some part of it that I don't get. If you want to, get cosmetic surgery and make it your lifestyle, or you want to, look like a superhero or something like that, and have weird stuff and look like Wolverine or something, I don't know. That's okay, because no one formula fits all. That's postmodernism right there. And so when you see a postmodern show or a postmodern movie, you'd see different styles being used at the same time. It also, postmodernism means you got to be pragmatic, practical, whatever works. Whatever works. Don't go by any formula that's been handed down. It's supposed to work everywhere. So you change your plans. And that can mean you change your DNA. You change your look. Oh, but I was born this way. I can't touch this. Well, increasingly look, a lot of people in your generation are changing their bodies right now without cosmetic surgery, right? What am I thinking of? Tattoos, yeah. And piercings. Where was I? I saw a woman, attractive young woman, immediately became not attractive to me because I saw her ears. But that's just me, okay? Because of my experience. Yes, she had stretched out earlobes because she has worn gauges a lot, right? I mean, they're big, floppy. I know, and a lot of us are giving me those expressions, like, right? We're just not used to it, right? That's all. We're just not used to it. It's like those feet that are being bound, right? Going back to somebody finds that cute somewhere, right? But so you would say that about your own body. So you'd say that to your grandmother when she questions you on your tattoo. Grandma, everything changes. There's nothing that's sort of perfect. And I mean, nature is not nature. We mess with nature all the time. You know, that it fits more into that sort of cultural framework. Therefore, new forms are okay. We've always done things with our bodies, Grandma. You know, you didn't mind me piercing my ears when I was, teenager and that kind of thing. And it leads to a sense of the self being plastic. Now, I don't mean literally plastic. I mean figuratively plastic, as in something that is malleable, artificial, and changes. Human-made. And it has to do with your freedom of choice, right? Hey, it's my life. I can do what I want. If I want to take speed every day, I can do it. I can do it. Everything in moderation. Everything in moderation. Dr. Demarath, I do just enough, so I know I'm not collapsing at the calf like you were because you didn't know what you were doing. I'm smart about it. Somebody could say. Oh, I can fully imagine it. Can't you imagine this? I mean, we're practically there. We're going to be there. In your lifetimes, you're going to be there. You're going to be given an opportunity to take a drug. I mean, do any of you doubt this, right? That will have no side effects. Nothing but good. Nothing but good. Don't you think? Don't you think that's coming down the road?
No, because everything can kill you.
They're getting better and better at it, man.
Water. If you drink too much water.
Well, okay, but I mean, in moderation. I mean, the point is.
I mean, cyanide in moderation won't kill you.
Yeah. Well, what's your point? Are you arguing against me, or are you?
Yes, it's not there. Everything will kill you.
I know, but that's a different argument.
No, it's not.
You're saying what I'm saying. Taking it at a certain dose won't hurt you.
Yeah,
that a doctor can give you a set of drugs. They can give you a drug regime.
Yeah, like cyanide.
They can give you a drug
So
regime.
yes, you're right.
They can give you a drug regime that won't have any negative consequences, and will have you performing better. A set of performance-enhancing drugs.
Steroids.
Yeah, right, steroids. But steroids have these negative consequences to you that make you do a lot of things, right? There's a lot of things that go wrong with that. The back acne and the gut that grows, and oh God, there's all sorts of stuff. But no, they'll get it down eventually, and you have to choose. We'll have to choose. Do we want that set of drugs, or do we want to go natural? Because that's the way, that's the way we've evolved. That's the way, if you take a religious framework, that's the way God made us, or something, or evolution made us, and we shouldn't mess with that. It's coming at you. It's coming at you. We have to be sort of ready for that. But these new technologies are tools. They're tools for this stuff. Happiness, social justice. And yeah, making money, so people will sell them to you. Y'all know Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. Do you remember having to read that in high school or junior high school?
Yeah.
Middle school?
What is it called?
Remember the drug? Brave New World. Brave New World by Aldous Huxley.
Which one?
The drug was called, what was the drug called? Emma's got it on the tip of her tongue. Can you remember? Begins with an S.
Which
2
one?
syllables. Which drug?
Oh, Soma.
Soma. Thank you.
No
Soma.
good.
Soma's coming down the pike, okay? It's coming down the pike at you. It was, I am thinking of Brave New World, not
Yeah.
1984, right? Okay. Because they used it,
That was a good one.
so those of you that saw Hunger Games, come on, Hunger Games, come on. All y'all are Hunger Games literate. I know you are. That's right. Come on. You guys were like in 10th grade and stuff when that was coming out, weren't you? Right. So the good old days. You made it through 10th grade. Good.
I didn't necessarily like it.
So I don't know if they gave out drugs in that dystopian society to help you deal with a bad government and a bad job and stuff like that. But that's the message of Brave New World. And that's what a lot of people are concerned with these drug regimes. People will take the drugs to make them happy, and they don't realize their life sucks, and it could be better.
It's like The Giver.
Yeah, that's what
Ah,
I was
is it?
thinking.
Another book that y'all read back then,
Heroin.
right? I haven't read The Giver.
I
I
never
should.
seen it, but the
I've
movie
heard it's
was
good. I've heard it's really good.
The movie was
The book is really good.
Uh,
At the time, we thought it was really good.
at the time. Okay, and nature can be improved upon, Grandma. Hey, Grandma, you want your diabetes medicine, don't you? You know?
Well, too bad.
You let me get this tattoo. You let me get this tattoo, or I'm not giving you the insulin. Sorry, Grandma. That's the way it works. You go along with this. Come on. Bodies are malleable. Come on.
Wow.
Agree with me or die.
The screen cap
That
is
hasn't
also
been said
like that
before.
one.
Now, are you
Be
screencasting this?
Man's-
Yes, I am. Don't pass this around. Hey, I didn't mean it. We're just joking around here, Grandma.
She's getting a phone call.
Hopefully this is working. No. No. Both my grandmothers have passed away.
Damn it.
Oh, you
But
Oh well.
one of the things we're going to talk about though is the future in terms of aging, and I'm going to ask you guys, and I can't believe the effing answer that I get from students about this. Jesus, you guys,
What?
you got to really think about this. Are you really so embedded in your youth that you don't see this? But anyway, I'm
I'm
going
not.
to ask you. I'm going to ask you.
I would do anything to live forever.
Would you live for to be 500 or
Hell no.
1,000?
Fuck
Oh,
yeah.
So
Oh.
crying out, you're shaking.
God,
Grace,
I would.
come on.
How would I
Of course you-
age then?
Yeah,
That's the
Yeah,
question.
Oh.
Be erased.
Perfectly.
Like,
You'll look like you do right now.
Absolutely
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
live forever.
Oh, you would?
Absolutely.
Oh, good.
That'd be pretty
If
cool.
I didn't have
No,
to
see,
die,
Grace thinks she's gonna get bored.
I
Haley,
would live
Haley,
forever
you think?
if I could.
No.
Come on,
if I
Sierra.
could be immortal, I would do it.
Think of the
If I could
opera that you
be
could
immortal,
master.
I would do it.
All right. So anyway, that's what we're talking about.
Small,
I feel like you
low
just make
key.
use of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd get over it. Like.
All right, guys. Now I got a question for you, and of course, there's only one answer to the following question.
I would never die.
I would be caught out.
What's the answer to that question?
Help yourself by helping others. No.
Thought so. Well, Harrison's evil, but the rest of you, okay, hopefully came up with the right. How about helping?
Like Robin Hood.
Oh my god.
Seniors get active. Okay, we're going to see some seniors get active. We're going to talk about aging now. I'm going to talk about we're shifting in our sociology of health and medicine to a different kind of old people, seniors. That's right, not college seniors. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Okay, so we're going to see some action shots. Seniors in action. Okay, elderly people in action. You ready for this? All right,
I bet one's gonna be doing karate.
check that out. That's right.
You call that
In
accent,
action.
though?
That's acting. He's moving around. He's on a bench. He's not in his lazy boy. You know, he's not in his recliner. Check out the next one.
Herman's always in his lazy boy.
Look at that. Yeah, they're out there almost bicycling.
All of
Almost.
them sitting around.
Almost bicycling. On a four-wheeled bicycle, maybe a three-wheeled bicycle.
No, that's one of those.
Right. Seniors just want to get out. Elderly people just want to get out, right? Get the fresh air, and there's another shot there.
Oh my god. One time in my neighborhood, this dude was riding a bike like that and he fell.
A three-wheeled one?
Yeah.
And he fell?
How do you make that fall?
He was like walking his dog at the same time, but
Oh, well.
he wasn't wearing a helmet and then he fell.
Oh, jeez. Did
But
he?
now he wears a helmet.
Okay. Yeah, because he has brain damage and he has to protect
Oh
himself.
my god.
Okay. Or that. Hey, yeah, do I have some animal lovers in the house?
I
Some
hate
animal
it.
lovers in the house? Yes. That could be your business. You've got cute little pets that are really good and tame. Old people love them. It's like taking babies in or something like that. I mean, they love them. It's therapeutic, right? So you might have a service. I don't know if we have a service in Shreveport like this. We darn well should, where, you know, oh, it's puppy day, or it's you know, dog day, or cat day, and we're gonna have them come and, you know, make friends. You know, they get a lot out of it, and they live longer with these kind of therapies. Getting outside, being more active, gardening, stuff like that. Having those opportunities that they often don't have when they're in sort of living residential, you know, care communities. So we're going to talk about what markets grow as a population ages. What's that?
I said denture cream.
Denture cream.
Arthritis
Yes, we can
medication.
go on and on. We can make fun of the elderly now with the products that they buy that we're going to have to buy too eventually. Any jobs that could need filling? Products and increasing demand. Yes, the denture stuff. Ways that you might help those seniors and become very wealthy.
Yeah.
Become very wealthy.
Get a
I want-
retirement home.
Well, right. I mean,
those are
design.
bad
How about design a
investments.
really good retirement home that has community gardening in it, that has like
Dogs.
bicycling, that's in nature, that yeah, you can have a petting zoo out there. I don't know. I don't mean to demean the elderly too much, but okay. So let's tick through these predictions for an aging society. We're getting this from the reading. For money, for fame, or for just virtue. And remember who you got this from, okay? So that when you do become very wealthy, you can maybe give a little bit to the sociology department, and we can, endow a chair or something, provide better
Endow a
education for sociology students. What you're laughing about, Fatima? That's totally realistic that you guys would give in the future to the sociology department.
No.
We don't use it to go on vacation.
All of my
in
money's
Mexico,
going to Tommy
okay?
Q.
Who does? Who do you throw a shade?
Yeah, who does that?
You.
Who does that? Who
Yeah.
goes on vacation in Mexico?
Yeah, who uses the money to go on vacation? Because you sound like you're
Oh,
throwing shade.
No, that would be corruption.
Oh, it sounds
nobody
like you were
nobody
throwing
does
shade.
that. If you
Oh,
give
I
money
thought you
to
were
a
like
college
mid-teens.
is a
Yeah, I was
nonprofit
like,
organization.
yeah,
All it
yeah,
does is,
Sounds like-
improve the
That's
college.
what I was thinking.
It would go
And
towards
like-
scholarships,
You're right.
go
That's what I
toward
was thinking.
technology,
You
go
can
toward
see those
desks.
plants from the greenhouse.
Okay, ready? Here we go. Our predictions. Seniors will be working. They'll be working for pay more often. I mean, these are people in their 70s, in their 80s that will be working. Why will they be working?
Because if men
That's
stop
all
working,
they
we
know.
die.
Because that's all they know. They don't know how to have fun. Seniors, they don't know how to have fun. Now,
Men
if it
stop
were
working,
us
we
who
die.
were going to retire, we would know what to do with ourselves. No, why do they have to go back to work?
You get bored and die.
Well, they
Why
can.
are they more likely to have to go back to work than the retirees out there now?
Because the socials live off of the social.
The what?
They can't live off of social.
Because why? No, Social Security, just imagine that it's the same sort of pile of money you get when you retire at 65.
Inflation.
No, something else is going up. It's not economics, it has to do with biology.
Life
Age,
expectancy.
life expectancy is going up. So it's great. I mean,
The older you die.
when I was y'all's age, I think the average life expectancy was like 78. I mean, now I think it's like 86 or something like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm exaggerating. Huh? 79 in the States? Well, that hasn't increased that much. But I know it's increased over the past 20 years, and it's going to increase more and more. And so they're going to live longer and longer and better health care, and they'll have to re-enter the workforce. Oh, sorry. You guys are there. I forgot. Oh. This next part. Sean, AJ, Edvard, Harrison, Matt, Kyle. Pissed off at y'all already, okay?
Better be pissed off.
Because you're going to ask your sisters to take care of your parents. You're a little bit more likely to do that
Jokes on you.
than the sisters. Yeah, well, okay. You're off the hook. I am too. I've just got brothers. But right, I mean, the women in the house here know that they're more likely to be expected to do that than their brothers.
My sisters would not take care.
And it's a shame if they're smarter, right? And they're doing better stuff for society. Not smarter, but if their careers are doing well and but they'll be helped by telecommuting. The elderly will. So there's more stuff that they can do in their home. Work is getting more sort of sedentary, but also maybe portable too. They could do it in their super bikes, for example. They'll be, I got more to talk about with that. They'll be moving in and moving around. They'll be the most into fitness. Because they want to be healthier and live longer. And there's a lot of research now that shows, gosh, if y'all have grandparents that are towards the end, you know, you want to get them active. You want to just get them walking. Walking is the key. I couldn't get my mom before she passed to really walk again. And my dad is just turned 80, and man, it's hard. But it's partly because he has no place to walk to. We drive to everywhere, so where's he going to walk to? So if you live in, like, you know, Madrid, or if you live in the French Quarter in New Orleans, or if you live in Manhattan, you know, or if you live in San Francisco, there are good walking cities around, but not where a lot of us live. Okay, here's what I want. Please, somebody invent this. Somebody who's going into engineering or something like this. You don't even have to go into engineering. Just an entrepreneur. Senior mobiles, which, for example, don't require a lot of speed. They're just, you know, puttering around town, right? Puttering, actually, that's been used in ethnographies on retirees about what their days, what a good day is like for a retiree. It's often a lot of puttering. But they want to be active. They want to go places. They want to be outside. They want to experience nature. So it might be something like that four-wheeled bicycle that you saw, sort of a golf cart that you pedal. Well, no, wheelchair doesn't give you exercise unless it's
So
just
it's
up
dangerous,
there.
like a
Yeah,
running
it's not
bike.
the same.
Is
Well,
there a
I mean,
running
have you ever
bike?
thought about how? I mean, I just drove up from Lake Charles yesterday, day before yesterday. Yeah. And you know, on I-49, you guys have driven on highways before. What are you doing in the car when you're on a highway except sitting there, just touching this, listening to the radio, but you're not getting any exercise? Could you? Is it remotely possible that you could get exercise while you're driving?
Yeah,
No,
Tesla.
it's impossible. Baloney,
Tesla
man.
auto-driving cars. You can
Take a nap.
make gains or take a nap. That's gains in a way.
Have you ever seen those little pedals that you stick on the ground
Kinda
while you're
like
in
a
your
Flintstones?
easy chair? And elderly have these
Flintstones.
Yeah. You pedal like that. Could we be doing stationary biking in the car while we're driving?
No.
What about like Flintstones car? Where you got,
Yes,
like,
you could, Matt. You could. I'm telling you, it's absolutely possible.
No, I keep thinking about these cars.
I feel like that's a really
Kind
big
of
hazard
thing.
though, because if they're pedaling,
You
Yeah.
can work it
you're
out.
gonna
Don't tell
try
me
to
it's
slam
impossible.
the brakes and hit the pedals.
Yeah, I did.
All right, so
Fucked.
I want us to contemplate
That's
that.
one way of putting it.
More alternative nursing homes.
I'm saying like a nursing home / animal shelter.
Yes.
Could be said.
Exactly. Right. Urban farm.
One per sheet.
Community garden.
He said go adopt an old person.
Yeah.
Edvard, that only happens where you're
Um,
Don't exterminate them.
no. Okay, they'll be needy but vocal. Did I have that up there yet?
Oh, tell me about
Sounds like my ex-girlfriend.
I'm like,
They'll be needy but vocal. Oh yeah, that was. Now, would a woman say that about her ex-boyfriend?
Woo, probably.
Interesting about what that says about gender roles,
It wasn't neat
About-
enough.
provider roles, and so on. They'll be the most important voters. Why will they be the most important voters? Why will they be increasingly important? Well, they're bigger. They're getting bigger. They're living longer, so they're swelling that way too.
They have
Right,
free
in
time
terms
to
of-
go.
They have free time to go vote. That's right, as we've already discussed in our previous section. Their voting rates are high because they have nothing else to do. But I'm just kidding about that on the screencast. Kidding. But you know, they're in tune with the issues. They've been reading about them. They're more impoverished, which is one reason they'll be vocal. They'll say, hey, we need a little help here. We're, starving or can't afford medicine. And they often do have to choose between food and medicine. Another way you can make money is in this industry because there'll be a shortage of people working in elderly care relative to the population that they're serving. And they'll be demanding a healthcare policy change. Obamacare was good for getting poor people, giving poor people opportunities to get insured, also for people who had pre-existing conditions to get insured, but we haven't taken on the real things that are jacking up the prices on medicines and technologies that the pharmaceutical and med tech industries, but the insurance industry is a big reason for that. So we can look forward to that being addressed in the future because it's obviously an issue that stands out like a sore thumb for our society compared to other societies. Other societies have been able to deal with it. We should be too. Okay, y'all. Have fun this Thanksgiving. And
Be studying more.
who's going to get seconds on stuffing?
I'm gonna get
Anybody going to get seconds on stuffing? That's my favorite. Any pies besides pecan and pumpkin that you might expect?
Apple pie.
Apple?
Oh, chocolate burger.
Oh!
Perfect.
I'll have the chocolate burger pie. Just the burger.
Well, enjoy.
Thank you, John.
Do we do eggnog yet? Is it time for eggnog or is that more Christmas?
I've
Yeah,
never
I'm
had
all
it,
got
and I don't
eggnog.
think I want to try it ever.
Oh, real eggnog?
Yeah, it just just any eggnog. It just doesn't sound like something that I would enjoy.
Oh, no, it's like a milkshake, man.
Drinking
eggnog is
eggs.
good. Oh, no.
I'm allergic to eggs.
Okay, screencast people. I'm ready to stop you now.
Dr. Lawrence. Okay, Dr. Tiffany.
You can call me Dr. Lauren, that's
Yeah.
fine, Fatima.
Okay, I was gonna ask, when is our assignment due, lab assignment?
Oh, December 1st.
The Twitter.
The Twitter thing is due December 1st.
Okay.
I think that's what I said, or did I say December 2nd? It's in that email.
Okay. So we
So,
have.
It's a little bit after Thanksgiving break.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, because I saw people already working on it.
Yeah, right, some have already worked on it. But you know what I said, Fatima? If you need an extension, you can have an
Oh.
extension.
Yeah, but I guess that's plenty of time.
Yeah, but it should be enough time. It doesn't take that long.
Yeah.
Oh, darn it, I was going to ask my class about this and I forgot. But I don't suppose, I'm just going to ask, okay, you this, Fatima, don't feel compelled at all. I'll say, do you know anyone, okay, who might be in town this Thanksgiving, who is very responsible and is not a criminal, who might, enjoy earning $30 to stop by my house like 3 times over Thanksgiving break to feed the cats and clean the kitty litter. If you know of anybody like that.
Well, I know there's a cleaning lady comes to my house. I can ask someone.
There's a cleaning lady that
Yeah,
you know who lives in town.
yeah.
Okay. Well, you don't have to do anything. I was just sort of wondering if it was like you that might be willing to, if you like cats or something
Oh,
like that.
yeah, I think I'm gonna be busy.
You're Yeah, there's certain, you know, about half the class I might trust with that. But maybe the other half, I don't know. I don't feel like I, you know.
Yeah.
But you're one of them I would trust. But anyway, yeah, I'm just looking for cat sitter.
Oh.
I mean, just to stop by. And,
Yeah, I would, but I'll have
No.
a transport problem. And
Are you in town?
yes.
You live in town? Your family lives in town?